Welcome back. Well, it's going to be a gray and occasionally a wet period across the area, but we're really kind of toning down on the rain totals for sure. It's just going to stay gray and breezy and cool and feel like fall for the next several days. So let's take a look at the big pattern across much of the U.S. And you can see the upper level low that is dominating our weather pattern right now. That's over by Dallas, just west of there. And this is a cutoff low. It's cut off from the jet stream, which is here and way up here and way up here. So it's slow moving, and that's why we thought we were going to see some big rain totals, but it looks like heaviest convection, the strongest storms stay offshore, and that robs the inflow across the area. Plus, area low pressure is going to be further offshore than what we were thinking just a couple of days ago. And then the next system, this one's going to eventually move through the western U.S. and yield us some rain chances, we think, about a week down the road. But it's going to be another slow-moving setup on that one. As we look at the weather across the 48, most of the action here down across the Gulf Coast and area of low pressure. Really hard to pinpoint, but we'll get better developed later on tonight. Maybe it's trying to develop right here with the heaviest convection northwest of that low, but you can see all the rain and heavy-duty storms offshore. This is where you would have flooding if this was inland. Fortunately, we did not get the flooding, but we could have used a better soaking. We'll get to those rain totals in just a bit. But as you put things in motion, you see activity generally moving from the west-southwest to the east-northeast. So this precipitation offshore is probably going to work its way onto at least St. Mary Parish. So that's probably going to be the wettest spot overnight tonight. Dialing into Power Doppler 3, Acadiana's only Doppler radar. You can see mostly quiet conditions out here. Some patchy drizzle where we're not seeing any green. This is just very light rain here. And we have more moderate rains from the Jeanerette, Franklin area. And it tones down a little bit toward eastern St. Mary Parish. But again, a lot of action just offshore out here in the Gulf of Mexico. And so far, rainfall totals have been pretty light, 1/3 of an inch to 1/2 inch north of I-10, about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches down along the coast. The multi-inch rains way out in the Gulf of Mexico, but we'll add a little bit more to this. But this was certainly an underwhelming storm system based on the data that we were looking at going back to last week. But the low staying out in the Gulf of Mexico is going to stay breezy. Here's a pressure gradient, so we're going to have gale warnings across the coast. It's going to be breezy. By the way, tides in the eastern Louisiana above normal. There's a coastal flood advisory there, and it stays cool. The cloud cover stays. Occasional light rain or drizzle through tomorrow from time to time, but we don't see a whole lot of solid rains after what we've seen so far. And you can see that low just kind of staying out in the Gulf of Mexico, taking its time. The upper level low will be over Louisiana by Wednesday, so that means the cloud cover stays. It stays cool. And notice, you may have noticed the temperature's not changing a whole lot. Upper 50s, lower 60s. Thursday, we might push the mid-60s, even though high pressure working its way in. I think we don't see much in the way of sun until the weekend. Now, look at the rainfall totals. This is the latest graph model, not going for much rain, just 1/10 of an inch or less, a little bit more down toward the coast, certainly toward Homa. But then you go out into the Gulf of Mexico. Look at these rain totals out here. In fact, some of these rain totals, I'll just query one spot right here, way up there, pushing maybe the 20-inch range. Let's see if I could get that dot right there. Let's see, 23.3 inches. So you're talking some big rains out in the Gulf of Mexico, but that's where they're going to stay. Sorry for our friends who have to work offshore out there. As for temperatures, as we mentioned, not much change. Upper 50s, lower 60s will be the norm over the next 24 to 36 hours. Tomorrow night, again, upper 50s through Wednesday morning, and Wednesday afternoon, low to maybe the mid-60s. Notice to the west, clouds may be a little thinner, and you'll get a little sunshine, so temperatures get in the 70s there. So you see the lightning popping offshore. That's where it stays with that storm system, but we'll have periods of light rain. But I've brought the rain chances down to about 60%. Let's get rid of that. 58 is the low for tonight, and then for tomorrow, we'll see readings getting back up to 63, 62 for a high. We'll keep that rain chance in the 60% range, so not a whole lot of rain, light rain. The rain ends Wednesday, but the clouds stay through Friday. The weekend looks nice highs near 70, lows upper 40s, and then the next wet weather system Monday, Tuesday, but that should set up a nice Wednesday, and at least Thanksgiving right now looking mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 60s, which is a forecast that looks pretty good 10 days out. We'll see how it plays out. That's it for weather for now. We'll have more coming up right after the break.